Hey guys, and welcome to the first Beaver Castle update. Some of the builds that I'm working on in this series are going to take a long time, like the hydro power plant. That was 3 days. I'm currently working on the Temple of Supreme Awesomeness, which is going to be literally built on top of this. And it's epic. It really is going to be totally epic, but it's going to take me a while to actually do it. The resources involved are just immense. More about that later. Okay, so what have I been doing? I've been working on the hydro plant, and I've got to say, I'm fascinated by this. Absolutely fascinated. I've got like really good news and interesting stuff. So, for example, I've been running this for a long time, and it has now reached steady state. So let's turn the UI on, and let me show you. If we look at this. Look at this. This is not moving. 20,203. It's completely set. All of these are... They've just locked into position now. They're just producing the same amount all the time. It might fluctuate like by 1 or 2 over time, but it seems to be like rock steady. 20,203. So that means we're producing what? Almost 7,000 net power. 7,000 net power, which is awesome. Especially when you realize that I have disconnected the wind power. Yeah, there is no wind power going into this. This is just the water system, but I found that it takes a huge amount of water to run it. We're talking 80 tiles of water a day. A day. So this pit that I built over here is 8 by 10, 4 tiles deep. This empties in 4 days. 4 days gone. Now, when I'm working on stuff, it's easy for many days to just pass while I'm focused on something. So it was really important that I get this to somehow be maintenance free. And I've come up with a bit of a solution. This is, I love this. I can't tell you how much I love this. So this pump is pumping water from the main reservoir into here. The problem is, if I just left that running at 100%, this would overflow. Right, okay, well that's a problem. So maybe if I pumped more out, well then it would run dry. We need to keep this at steady state. Okay, so what I've added a second pump down here. And the second pump is keeping this absolutely steady. Fantastic. This over here is pumping in, but it's got its own independent power supply. These 3 windmills. 2 large, 1 small. We'll get to that in a second. This pump is running at variable output, because sometimes the wind's blowing strong, sometimes the wind's blowing like not at all, but on average you get about 50% from one of these if it's powered 100% by wind. So I set it up and I put in a bunch of windmills so that it was running at like as much as it could do. It was a little bit too much. The pit was actually filling up over time, so I cut it down to 2.5 windmills, and now this thing has been kind of oscillating between 3 and 2 for ages. I haven't had to touch this for ages. In fact, I've spent so long watching it, I've forgotten that I need to put the floodgates, because I took the floodgates out to put this in, meaning to put the floodgates back in. And then I've been watching it, and I've forgotten to put the floodgates back in, which I do actually need to do. That's a good point. Oh, good Lord. Good job I made this video. Okay, so that's that. So what have I done to optimize this and get this smooth and running like nicely? Well, one big change was adding this pump here. This pump is really important. I realized that this trough here, with 8 pumps going in and 8 pumps going out, this had like literally like the lowest possible amount of water in it, because as soon as the water's pumped in, it's pumped out, right? So it was really, really, really low. the thing is, you also get evaporation happening. And when you get evaporation happening, every now and then, this stutters. And that's causing instability in the system. So, you know, water's coming in, water's going out. Tiny little bit of water. That water evaporates. Oh, stutter. So now, with the extra pump, this is just sitting at 0.9 all the time. Nice and steady. And that means we get a smooth, consistent flow of water, which means that it's just sitting at this constant steady state. So steady, in fact, that you remember I took out this power wheel here and the one on the other side. I've actually added them back in the middle. Remember there are only 2 wheels? Now we've got 4 wheels. And it's all working and it's perfect and I freaking love it. I've spent, I don't know, about 8 hours playing around with this and getting it steady. What's the level at now? 2.6. It just kind of goes up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit. I love it. I love it. So, the Temple of Supreme Awesomeness that's going to be built over here. How the hell are you going to do that, Sky? We're going to be using this thing, the metal platform, right? And one of the reasons why I designed this the way that I designed it was so that I could put in these metal platforms. And you can see that if I put one there and one there, it completely covers this. So I've been working on the design. The design is really coming along. It's looking really, really good. But each one of these metal platforms is 200 metal blocks, which is a huge amount. So we're going to have to be exploiting these mines, and there are 3 of them around the map. There's this one over here, and then there's one in the reservoir that we flooded. So yeah, I've got to figure out how do I get there. I've actually started by putting a path down here to kind of figure out like how far away it is, and I'm going to have to set up a different camp out there, and then I've got to think about how I get water and all. So I'm kind of planning all that stuff out. Just the logistics of how I get enough metal to be able to build this damn thing. And then there's the actual design. Aesthetically, I think you guys are going to love it. I really do. I'm also thinking about what I'm going to do with Beaver Castle itself. What I'm thinking is that we extend the moat around here and have an inner wall. Only like 3 high, like an inner wall. So that it looks like a keep and a bailey with a moat. I think that could be really nice. And then, I don't know, I'm actually thinking maybe we build like an aqueduct to build the water, to bring the water out into this area. And then maybe we have it kind of running around here before it goes back into its normal flow. Like, I don't know, maybe it comes down here and goes back into this channel. And then it's just back to normal. So that we can irrigate this entire area. That could be really sweet. Inside, if I'm going to extend this moat all the way around here, then obviously I need to clear this area. Well, this is why I've started moving stuff up on top of the castle. So we've already got our explosive plants up here. We can move like the paper plants and all this stuff up to here. I think I am going to extend the castle out to this kind of distance. Probably bring it across to say here, and then maybe have a section that goes in a little bit and then comes out again. And then I don't know, maybe we put another tower over here, maybe smaller. Maybe a slightly smaller tower. Maybe a couple of tiles lower than this one, with some gravity with a gravity battery running down here or something. And I don't know, maybe the same on this side, something like that. And then, obviously, with all the power that we're getting, I can rip these windmills out. They can go. These are producing treated planks. They can go or be moved up here. So that means we kind of free up this area to be able to do that project, which is going to be kind of... I tell you what, this idea of doing that and then bringing an aqueduct out and having water going through here, is nice. A couple of little dams there, and maybe this area. Yeah, bring the aqueduct. I'm planning this on the fly now. Bring the aqueduct out here, flood this area, and then have a channel that goes into this pool, and then it's just back into the normal flow. Awesome. The other thing, and this will be the last thing. The last thing that I've been thinking about is, because this is using so much water. I mean, we are okay for water, as you can see. Our levels and everything are pretty good. You saw the river drying up, so the drought has just started, and we're okay, but we're not perfect. In an ideal world, we would actually be up to this dam. We would be overflowing this dam. I mean, actually, it's just occurred to me, I should seal that up, because the place that we want to be overflowing is actually here, and it should be flowing down into this area, because eventually I want to green this side of the map. Yeah, so we're a little bit down on where we should be. So I think the thing that I need to do is wall off some areas so that we reduce the amount of evaporation that's happening. Like, for example, here, if I put just one tile high levees across here, well, actually 2 tiles high, so that this doesn't flood, then we wouldn't be getting the evaporation that happens in this area. And the evaporation is a lot more than you think. It's 0.045 of a tile per day. It doesn't sound like much, but in an area like this, it adds up. This is going to be losing, I don't know, a few tiles of water a day, I would think. You lose an entire tile of water to evaporation every 22.2 days. So yeah, that's a concern. That's something that I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. So for example, here, like if I walled this off so we didn't have this area, yeah, there's a lot to do. Okay, guys, that's the update for today. Let me know if you like this idea of me putting out these updates, so that you know like what's going on and you're not waiting a few days for a video and going like, when's the next video? What's happening? The temple's probably going to take a couple of days. So if you like this format and you want more, then I'll do another update tomorrow. Let me know. Leave me a comment. I'll catch you for the next one. Peace out.